I'm locking in right now. So much focus. Okay, so here's what I saw. So I came up with a new twist on baseball reference guessing games. I'm going to introduce an extreme time element to it. And this time element isn't actually influenced by ref guess, it's influenced by GeoGuessr. Specifically game modes from creators like Rainbolt, who only has 0.1 seconds to guess where in the world he is on Google Maps Street View. And that's the game I've put together for myself. I'm going to flash baseball reference pages up, first for 0.1 seconds, then for half a second, then a full second, then 5 seconds, and then unlimited time, each with descending point values to correlate. I'll show you later on how I was actually able to put together this game without spoiling myself, but for now, just know that we're looking at some of the top hitters and top pitchers since integration by WAR. So here we go. I've got my camera right here, I've got the screen that I'm looking at right here, and then I've got OBS going right over here, but I have 0.1 seconds to guess whose baseball reference page is this. Let's go. I'm locking in on the left side of the screen, trying to catch teams and years. Okay. I saw late 70s, and I saw Boston. I didn't really see if it was a hitter or a pitcher. I saw some black ink on a bigger number that made me think it's a hitter. And so if we're thinking late 70s, Boston, probably hitter. I mean, I'm thinking it could be Jim Rice. I'm thinking it could be Dwight Evans. I'm thinking it could be Fred Lynn. But I just don't think I have a guess yet. I'm gonna, for the 0.5 seconds round, focus on the right side of the screen, hopefully pick up on a position, because I'm thinking this is an outfielder. I'm thinking this is either, Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, Dwight Evans. So hopefully I can narrow it down based on this. Okay, 0.5 seconds for 4 points. Okay, it was 7. 7 is left field, and I also think I saw an MVP. So that lets me know that this player is Jim Rice. We are locking in the guess, Jim Rice. Let's see it. All right, I'm getting the full look at the stats now, and indeed it does look like Jim Rice to me. I do think I'm correct, but I'm gonna double check on Baseball Reference just to be sure. And yes, that is indeed Jim Rice. It took me 0.6 seconds, cumulatively speaking, but that is gonna be worth 4 points on the board. A strong start to my game. It is possible there may be a duplicate in here. Hopefully that's not the case, but we're going for 10 different rounds. Second round now, again, my strategy is gonna be just focusing on the left side of the screen, try to get team and year, and then kind of move on from there. So let's see, let's lock in. Okay, looking for it. I saw Angels, I saw Young. I didn't see years, but I saw a young player. I saw a lot of all-stars. I mean, it could be Mike Trout, right? Now that I can rewind that 0.1 seconds in my brain a little bit, I do remember it being LAA as the abbreviation for the Angels, not ANA as in Anaheim Angels, and not CAL as in California Angels. So this is making me even more sure that I saw, for 1/10 of a second, Mike Trout's baseball reference page. It's a page I've seen many, many, many times. I'm gonna lock in my answer for the 5-point tier. I'm saying that was Mike Trout. Yup. Beautiful. Just beautiful. It's a page I've seen many times, and what clued me in the 0.1 seconds, I didn't get to see any of the years, but I saw that this player was young, they were making all-stars in their early 20s, and they were LAA, which kind of helped me narrow down what seasons we were talking about. This was Mike Trout all the way. Well done by me, that's a 5-pointer. Okay, heading into round 3, we haven't got any pitchers yet of these 10 rounds. I know for a fact that 3 of them are pitchers, so we haven't encountered that wrinkle yet. I'm curious to see when we're gonna get a pitcher. All right, let's go. It's 0.1 seconds. It's for 5 points. I saw Yankees. I saw around 2009-ish. Sabathia is an immediate thought. Andy Pettit is a possibility here. Do those years match up as well? I'm not sure if I can lock in a guess just yet. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't even know. It could be a hitter, right? In my mind, it was a pitcher just because we haven't seen one yet. So for this 0.5 seconds round coming up, I think I'm gonna look more towards the right side of the screen, hopefully figure out what position they played. Maybe if I can catch another team other than the Yankees, that'd be helpful. But yeah, I'm going in kind of blind on this one. Okay, we have half a second now to figure out who this is. Oh, I really wasn't ready for it. I saw an MVP runner-up and that was it. That was the only thing I saw was MVP runner-up. Yeah, we're gonna have to skip to the round that gives me a full second, and I'm gonna really have to soak in everything on this page with a full second, but I'm rattled now. I'm absolutely rattled. 1 second, this is for 3 points. I just, didn't see a position, definitely a position player, definitely saw some Yankees in there. I just don't know. I just really wasn't able to process the information on that page. I'm gonna have to go on to the 5-second round, unfortunately. And what's tricky is I still have to figure out really like years and other teams than the Yankees, and also then swing back over to the right side of the screen to figure out positions. So I guess I'll probably start with positions and then see if I can work my way to the left of the screen over the course of the 5 seconds. But you know, this is only for 2 points at this moment. All right, come on, Bailey, you got it. You know who this is. You know who it is. Okay, 3. Okay, yeah. I went ahead and paused it. Admittedly, that was a little longer than 5 seconds, but it's very clearly Mark Teixeira. That is the answer. And indeed, it is Mark Teixeira. That one is only going to be worth 2 points. I would have liked to have gotten that one a little bit sooner, but I was just having a lot of trouble. There's a lot of stuff happening on screen there. All right, round 4. Still no pitchers, right? Keeping an eye out for you pitchers. You're not going to sneak one past me. I'd hate to be in a situation where I guess a position player and it's a pitcher. I think the way I'm playing this game is once I lock in the answer, it's either get it right or no points. Okay, this is 0.1 seconds. Interesting. Very interesting. I saw a transition there from Cal to A&A. We were talking about this with Mike Trout earlier. It was LAA in terms of the Angels abbreviation. I saw the transition in the middle of this player's career from California Angels, to A&A Anaheim Angels. And it was a lot of years. It was a lot of years in an Angels uniform either way. I was actually able to see that better in those 0.1 seconds than I've seen any of the other 0.1 seconds rounds in this game so far. I saw many years of Cal/A&A. And I'm not sure if there's a pitcher who can fit. We're looking at top 200 WAR hitters and pitchers since integration. Not sure if there's one who would have pitched that long in an Angels uniform and been around for that transition from California Angels to Anaheim Angels. So I'll tell you who I'm thinking. I'm kind of thinking it's Tim Salmon. I know Tim Salmon had a lot of WAR. I believe the famous stat is he has the most WAR of any player never to make an All-Star game. Now, if I focus here on the right side of the column and do a half-second round, I can probably confirm that right away. But the question is, do I just want to go ahead and guess Tim Salmon now, for either 5 points or no points? All or nothing. And guys, I really think I will. I'm going to come out and say it. This is Tim Salmon. Final answer. Lock it in. It is a pitcher. It is a pitcher. That's going to be a 0 for me. And right away, let me tell you, even if I had the infinite time round, I'm not quite sure if I know who this is, even though they have 58 career WAR and 200 wins. That's really embarrassing for me not to know. I mean, is this Mark Langston? Is this somebody else? And yeah, guys, had to go ahead and look this one up, but it is not Mark Langston. It is a teammate of Mark Langston's. It is Chuck Finley. So even if you'd given me the infinite amount of time on that one, I'm probably getting it wrong, embarrassingly enough. So, I'm okay with the fact that I went for the Tim Salmon guess. It wasn't there, but you know what? I probably wasn't going to get Chuck Finley either way. If you want to see Chuck Finley pitch in person, you can't. He retired over 20 years ago. But if you want to go to a ball game this year, here's how I'd do it. I'd go to SeatGeek, find my game. I'm going to get 2 tickets this time. And price-wise, I'm going to say, let's keep it under $50 each. That's including fees, so no extra fees added on. And then I would sort and just get the best seat. And here's the best seat in the house for $48. Use code FOOLISH at checkout. You can get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. All right, so we do have one pitcher off the board. No points from it, of course. Let's move on to round 5. If I could somehow pick up on year and team and whether they're a position player or not, it'd be very helpful, but 0.1 seconds, not a lot of time to do it. Okay, so here's the only thing I picked up from that because of sort of the aspect ratio that was going over there. The part of the screen I was looking at was black. because this player's baseball reference page is very long in nature. All I can tell you is that this player played for many years. That's the only thing I can tell you after 0.1 seconds. This player played for longer than we've seen other players in this game play so far. Well, let's try to figure out something in the half a second round, because played a long time isn't really all that helpful when you're talking about guys with a high career WAR. Okay, that one was interesting. I saw a New York team. I don't know if it was the Mets. I don't know if it was the Yankees. I saw Toronto was in the mix there. I saw like 80s. Does Jimmy Key fit in there maybe? I don't know, because I thought I saw some maybe pitchery stats in my peripheral, but I don't even know. It could be a hitter. So we're going to go into the 1 full second round here, and I've got to at least confirm like what position this guy was playing. I mean, he's a pitcher. he was a pitcher. You know, the way the eyes are, they're attracted to the black ink. He certainly led the league in win percentage one year. But yeah, I mean, am I ready to lock in Jimmy Key? I don't think so. Yeah, I got to go 5 second round here, and then I've really just got to kind of lock in on teams and years and age and all that, and just hopefully confirm who this is. What in the world? I still don't know who that is. I saw so many teams. I was distracted by the sheer amount of teams that I didn't even really look at the years. And I saw a lot of negative WAR years as well, which surprised me for a player that's in the top 200 WAR as a pitcher since integration. So I'm going to need the infinite time round here, and I'm going to really need to look at this guy. So this guy starts with the Dodgers in 71 at the age of 20, and then he goes Orioles, Yankees, Rangers, Braves, Giants, Yankees, Blue Jays, Braves, Tigers. And very much an accumulator type career, close to 200 career wins. Not a lot of accolades. We've got a couple of years with down ballot Cy Young votes. We have one All-Star, but man, I'm looking at this right now, and I don't think I could tell you who this player is. It is Doyle Alexander, and I'm sort of like slapping myself over this one. This is one I should have gotten. Doyle Alexander was famously traded from the Braves to the Tigers for John Smoltz, a very young John Smoltz, a very old Doyle Alexander. But yeah, I knew that about him. I knew he pitched for the Blue Jays and the Yankees, just wasn't able to put 2 and 2 together here. Another 0-point round. But we do have 2 pitchers on the board. I know for a fact that only 1 player left is a pitcher. The rest are hitters. 0.1 seconds. Let's go. I saw Seattle, and that's about it. A long time in Seattle. Could be Ken Griffey Jr. You know, could be. Did I see the years? Nope. But did I see a lot of All-Stars? I think. It was only 1/10 of a second. Am I ready to lock in Ken Griffey Jr. as my answer? No. I'm going to now focus on the right side of the screen, hoping to pick up on this player's position at the very least. All right, I've got half a second now. It was center field. I saw 8. I saw a lot of 8. I didn't see if this player played for other teams past Seattle, but I saw a lot of 8. I saw All-Stars. I saw center field. I saw Seattle. I didn't see any of the MVP awards. You know, those are in bold on the screen. I didn't see that. That's not to say they weren't there. But I think at this point, it's probably in my best interest to lock in Ken Griffey Jr. as my answer here. So I'm going to say Ken Griffey Jr. is the answer. Indeed, it is Ken Griffey Jr. Only 1 MVP. I thought he had 2, but yep, I saw Seattle. I saw a superstar very early in his career. Shades of Mike Trout, who I got in the first round, but had to confirm it in the second round, and that will be 4 points for me based on guessing Ken Griffey Jr. after the half a second flash. Good to get back on the board after a couple of blanks. Let's check in on round 7. Left side of the screen, come on. I'll tell you what I saw. I saw Cincinnati, and then I saw St. Louis. Didn't see years, didn't see position, didn't see age, but I saw some Cincinnati years and then some St. Louis years. And that's kind of got me thinking Scott Rowland. Again, the only thing I really know here is that this is a good player, right? This is a player that is in the top 200 among hitters or pitchers in post-integration WAR, so there's not going to be bad players on here. So I'm kind of in the same situation here as I was with Ken Griffey Jr. last round. Do I want to risk it? Do I want to risk it all and go for the 5-pointer? Or do I want to just go ahead and confirm my suspicions by taking another half a second round? You know what, let's lock it in. I'm going to say this is Scott Rowland, final answer, even though the only pieces of information I have were some years in Cincinnati and some years in St. Louis. Oh yeah, that's not him. That's not even close. That is only 1 year in St. Louis. My brain hallucinated several. I saw the years in Cincinnati, but yeah, that's not Scott Rowland. That is a center fielder who played primarily in the 1960s and primarily for the Reds, it appears. Well, now I gotta know who it is. He's got 2,700 career hits, which makes me think he's probably a Hall of Famer, and yet I'm not sure if there's a Hall of Famer coming to mind. But yeah, he's up at 19. He's a center fielder for the Reds. He's a beast, and then he just kind of falls off around age 29. I don't even know if these teams are totally right. I'm not even sure if these years are right. Like, if it's not a Hall of Famer, is it Veda Pinson, maybe? I'm gonna have to look this one up. Okay, it was Veda Pinson, in fact. I would have only gotten 1 point from getting him right. Like, I would have needed the full infinite amount of time to figure out who that is. But it was Veda Pinson. That's a lot of hits. That's gotta be, like, the most hits for a non-Hall of Famer category, non-scandalized. That's gonna include guys like Omar Vizquel as well, I would say. But yeah, wow, what a career. 3 rounds left. I know there's still 1 pitcher on the board. Let's see how many points I can get in round 8. Ooh, Brooklyn. I saw Brooklyn, Dodgers, and I saw short career. Interesting. There's a few guys that could be. It's either Jackie Robinson or Roy Campanella, and I think my play here is to focus on the right side of the screen now for round 2. That's going to be half a second. Try to figure out what position, and try to figure out the MVPs, because Jackie Robinson won, I believe, 1 MVP, whereas I think Campanella won like 3. All right, round 2 for 4 points. Which Dodger are you, my friend? 4. 4 is second base. And I think I saw 1 MVP award. I think it's Jackie Robinson. And indeed it is Jackie Robinson. We have the Kansas City Monarchs represented on here. We have did not play military service represented on here. And yep, MVP in 49, Rookie of the Year in 47. Could have gotten him earlier. Could have gotten him after 1 round, except for the fact that Roy Campanella was kind of similar-ish, so he scared me off. The existence of Roy Campanella made me wait until round 2. That's going to be 4 points. Round 9, still a pitcher on the board here, right? 1 hitter left, 1 pitcher left. How many points can we get from round 9? I saw a long career. I saw 80s Phillies. I saw a lot of All-Stars. So if we're playing sort of the hitter versus pitcher game right here, I mean, we're talking Steve Carlton or we're talking Mike Schmidt, and I don't know which one because I don't know if it's a hitter or a pitcher. Did I see any teams other than the Phillies? No, which would make me think Mike Schmidt. However, at the same time, 1/10 of a second is really not a long time for me to process it. I can really only look at a few years in that time. Like, I thought Veda Pinson played like 10 years for the Cardinals based on 0.1 seconds of information. So yeah, name of the game here is going to be figure out hitter or pitcher. Round 2 for 4 points. Yep, I saw a bunch of Cy Young awards right there. Let's lock it in. It's Steve Carlton. And indeed, it is Steve Carlton. I'm glad I didn't guess Mike Schmidt. I'm glad I was able to sort of wait it out and figure out that this was a pitcher and see the Cy Young awards. But yep, an incredible baseball reference page for Steve Carlton, one of the all-time great pitchers. All right, final round, round 10, and then we're going to tally up the points here at the very end. I know for a fact this is a hitter, but can I get another 5-pointer? I'd love that. Let's try. We are not going to get another 5-pointer. It was a long career. I think it spanned many teams, but was I able to pick out really any piece of information that's going to help me make this guess? No. Absolutely not. I think here in the half-second round, I've got to somehow catch a team in a position, even though these are on opposite sides of the screen. on a baseball reference page. I've got to somehow hit here for a quarter second and then hit here for another quarter second, process it all to have a chance. I mean, I saw Toronto, I saw Toronto. Ricky Henderson played for Toronto. He played for many teams, but I don't know. This is going to need a full second. It's a pitcher. Is this a duplicate? Did I get Doyle Alexander again? I may have messed up here in round 10. Let's see. I'll give it a 5-second look. Okay, it is Doyle Alexander. When you're trying to create a game for yourself to play without spoiling the answers to the game, a duplicate, a mistake is bound to happen when you're shuffling the cards, so to say. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up with a 10th player to guess for the 10th round, and I'll at least show you my process of creating this game. So this is my voiceover because I didn't record audio when I did this part, but essentially what I'm doing here is I've got the stat head search for the top 200 hitters by WAR since integration, and I'm just putting my head down, closing my eyes, and scrolling randomly until I click onto the page. And I'm scrolling down. I'm sort of covering up my face except for just the corner of the screen so I can see that I've made it past the player photo, and then I'm hitting a screenshot on it, and then I'm opening Paint, and I'm zooming way out so that everything's so small that I can't possibly see it, but I'm pasting it in there and then cropping it, and then I'm opening up my video editor, Sony Vegas, and I'm setting it to the allotted times, 1/10 of a second, half a second, full second, and then 5 seconds, of course, and then we're going to render that video, and then we're going to watch that video, all without knowing who I've picked by random chance. Now that you've watched that really stupid creation process, you're probably thinking to yourself, great, at least I know how he did it, but I'm spoiled. I know that it's Ichiro. Well, here's the thing. I know that too, because after I recorded that unspoiled, I went back and watched the process of me recording it and spoiled myself, realizing it was Ichiro. So now I'm going to do that entire process again, except this time I'm not going to record it, and then I'm going to play round 10. At long last, I am ready to play my 10th and final round. Let's finish this game on a high note. The only thing I really know is that this is a hitter, a top 200 hitter by WAR since integration. Didn't see anything. Might have said Angels, might have said Orioles, I might have seen BAL in there, could have been CAL. I don't know, I really didn't see jack diddly squat. Round 2 for 4 points. There we go. Yeah. Okay, I saw St. Louis to LAA, and it's a hitter. I did not see any stats. I did not see any accolades. I did not see any years. I did not see any ages. But that is an Albert Pujols type career. What scares me is I didn't really even process anything going on in my peripherals. Maybe I could have seen one of the MVP awards in the far right of the screen. Maybe I would have noticed a bunch of all-star appearances in a row, which is something that I've used to help me find other players very early on in the process. So the question is, do I want to lock in Albert Pujols now, or do I want to take the full second just to hopefully confirm my suspicions? For the sake of safety, I'm going to have to take another second. I'm sorry. I know, this is a poor performance, but let's just make sure what we think we know. Looking for MVP awards here. Oh, yeah. That was clearly Albert Pujols. That was Albert Pujols all along. So that is going to be 3 points on Albert Pujols to finish the game. Really probably should have gotten 5 or at least 4 points there, but we'll take it. We got at least one 5-pointer there with Mike Trout. Now let's tally up the total.